We have been in Nashville for almost a week. We actually got here on a Monday. Today is now a Saturday. And it's interesting. First of all, it seems like Nashville, all of the RV parks are kind of in just like a couple very centered locations. The good thing is that we are literally just down the road from the Grand Old Opry, and there's this giant Opryland resort that you can go to where so it's nice that it's really close, but it's also weird to have just a whole row of RV parks, like all segregated in one spot. So that's a little interesting. I would not say that we have done a lot since we got to Nashville. Two reasons. One, we actually got sick on the first day. Like all of us got sick. Um, I thought it was food poisoning at first, but it actually lasted for about 3 days for us, 3 to 4 days. And Yori ended up getting sick and having diarrhea, which is not fun. It's not fun when your whole household that lives in a tiny house all has the same thing. Like, I am glad for 2 bathrooms. It pretty much came in so handy in the last week. But also just having a dog that's sick and having to take her out all the time, that was rough. We didn't really feel like leaving the house the first few days we were here because of that. And then we've kind of slowly been getting back into the groove of things. We did check out a beer house last night, a big German beer house, and it was so cool. We also went to Third Man Records and did a tour, which, wow. Jack White, I will say, is not only an amazing artist, musician, but he single-handedly, him and his team have decided that they're just going to bring back a whole resurgence of analog that includes records and film, and he's doing an excellent job. I love Jack White. We've seen him in concert a few times. James has all of his records. He actually is part of the Third Man Records vault, which they send him records every quarter. So it's kind of, we did go to a aquarium restaurant, which I thought was freaking cool. I know it's kind of gimmicky. The food was, I mean, it's typical. Like, it was very expensive and, whatever. But I liked just sitting there around all of the sea life. So, and then we leave Nashville. We thought about stretching it out a little bit and stopping at a few harvest hosts along the way before we got to North Carolina. But a lot of the harvest hosts we saw, you have to be under 25 feet. Seriously? I mean, that's just like saying I only want van lifers. So, yeah, I'm a little annoyed by that. But I was hoping we could hit up a distillery. At least we're in freaking Tennessee. We should hit up a distillery. Why is there not any distilleries along the way that allow for bigger rigs? Like, and we're not even that big. We're only 36 feet. But what? Ugh, anyway, if you guys have any tips on a good distillery that we should hit up that's between Nashville and Charlotte, let me know. Oh, also, I determined I gotta come back. I love James, but he's not a country person. He doesn't really like country music. He likes music. He's got a very wide selection, but country's not it. And I grew up on country, so whether I really like it or not, it doesn't really matter. It's because I grew up on it, so it's very nostalgic to me. So it is hard to be here in Nashville and then not be with somebody who doesn't like country and can't kind of geek out on some of the stuff. Like, I was a big Reba fan growing up. Garth, Trisha, Kenny, like I was in the like early 90s, 2000s country. So like that's my jam. But yeah, there's a lot of things that we can't experience here because James just not of any interest to James, so he doesn't get it. Even like going to the Grand Old Opry, we went around and toured that, like walked around the outside, but we didn't go in. For it was like, I think the cheapest tickets for the Grand Old Opry were like $80, maybe $120. So you're really not going to spend that if you don't know that the person, or if you know that the person you're with really just doesn't, that's not really their thing. They're just going there for you. So I'm gonna have to come back, and I'm gonna have to I think I'm gonna get a group of girls together and we're just doing a country Nashville. I mean, let's wear our fucking cowboy boots and our cowboy hat and like live it up and be crazy country. Like, who's with me? Who's coming on my girls' Nashville trip? I want to know. Tell me.